Hello and welcome back to NoBS. Today we return to talking about the United States presidential election, which just had its second and final debate a few days ago. Today I want to talk about a specific moment and topic from that debate, which Biden totally messed up. Joe Biden did not do well at that debate. As we've discussed, Trump clearly won. Trump was doing an excellent job. He stayed more calm, no interrupting, no arguing and bickering. The whole thing was very, very professional. Trump came off presidential, answered all the questions, stayed on point. Biden, on the other hand, seemed lacking. He seemed like he was barely making it. He kept up pretty much, but in the end, he was just not doing well, and he got caught in a number of very, very sticky situations. Today, we're talking about oil and fracking and how he's flip-flopped on that issue, and in addition, a couple other things from the debate before we get to that. Also, what he messed up was the whole laptop scandal. His son got exposed as being a corrupt player in his evil crime family. Joe Biden is getting his son Hunter these big cushy jobs, and then he gets kickbacks from that essentially. And when that came up, Biden had no response other than to say it's Russia misinformation. It just randomly he blamed Russia. It was totally ridiculous and totally just not even relevant and not provable, just totally made up. And that's why we want to talk about another issue today. Today's big issue is oil and fracking again. And this video has more details. We're going to get to this video in a second. It was posted by Trump just after the debate. And it's because this literally came up in the debate. What happened was they brought up fracking and oil and how Joe Biden wants to get rid of that whole industry, which would be really bad for a lot of states. Texas and Pennsylvania, for starters, are really big oil states that have a lot of jobs in that industry. So if Biden's going to close that up, I think the voters deserve to know. And I think that's why he was forced to lie about it, because previously he said he would end fracking and oil and everything altogether. Now at the debate, he's saying he's not saying that. And he even challenged Trump and said, play the clip, show the video, put it on your website. And that's why this tweet here says, as per your request, Joe, here is the video. Here's the clip straight from the campaign, exactly what Biden asked for. So we're going to watch it and go over it and talk more about it soon, because in addition, we also have another article to go over, an actual mainstream media outlet that says Biden was not right about this. I don't know. It's pretty surprising that a place like CNN, which we're going to get to, they said that Biden falsely claimed he never was against fracking when he clearly was. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Let's check out this video first of all, and we'll get to that article next.
I oppose fracking.
You said it on tape.
I did. Show the tape. Put it on your website.
I'll put it on.
Would there be any place for fossil fuels, including coal and fracking, in a Biden administration?
No, we would work it out. We would make sure it's eliminated.
What about, say, stopping fracking and stopping pipeline infrastructure and
no new fracking. You got to transition away from it. Look, you're going to ban fracking.
So we're already looking pretty bad. We've got a banning fracking. These are multiple times he's saying stop fracking, phase out the oil industry. And this was an attempt to go environmentalist. They're trying to move towards solar and wind or something, just not viable replacements. That's the problem with ending the oil industry, really. Besides, of course, the bigger problem, I already mentioned, millions of jobs are tied to that. Lots of industry and people's lives and their whole system of being is related to oil. So there's firstly that's what we should be most concerned about. But secondly, we don't have a viable replacement for oil. These Democrats want to replace things and say we should all drive electric cars and stop flying in airplanes. But the technology isn't there. We don't have electric airplanes. First of all, we don't have electric cars that can go more than, say, 300 miles. And then when you get to that milestone, then you have to charge your car for many hours. It's not as simple as filling up a tank of gas on the highway. That could take you 5 minutes, and then you could be on with your trip, and you could do a whole cross-country trip. You could go driving around for days and days on end. But when you're in an electric car, that's not the case. You have 300 miles around that. I'm not sure if they've gotten more miles on certain cars yet, but it's not much more. And then you have to charge for a couple hours. Even the supercharger fast ones take like an hour or two. So that's not convenient. You could work out that schedule. I mean, it's not impossible, but you just have to basically stop your whole trip and park for 2 hours while you wait to charge. You could drive 300 miles in a day or something like that, however your trip plan is. Basically, the technology is not there. In addition, it's just a pipe dream. Literally, that's a joke too about oil pipes, but you guys get the point. This is Biden being environmentalist and not realizing how vital that's going to be to the voters and how it's going to influence them. I think a lot of people in Pennsylvania and Texas are not going to want to vote for Biden since he's against fracking and oil.
All across America right now, right?
I would love to.
Yeah, I'd love to too. I'd love to make sure we can't use any oil or gas, period. Look in my eyes. I guarantee you, we're going to end fossil fuel. We are going to get rid of fossil fuels.
So there you have it. I mean, it's pretty damning, pretty much exactly what Trump said. Trump is on point. Trump has got the facts and all this evidence on his side. Biden just lies. This is a repeat offense on him too. This happened throughout the debate. Whenever he sees or hears something he doesn't like, he just says that's not true. That's a lie. And then he went too far this time. He went so far as to say, show me the clip, put it on your website. And that is just the worst thing he could have said. He should have just stuck with the lie bit. He always just denies. And that's pretty weak too. Don't get me wrong. That's not the best offensive or defense in this case, but to challenge him and to ask for these clips when we all know they're there. I've seen these before in different places, but having them all put together is certainly a bad look. And it shows how the Biden campaign is falling apart. Even lots of their former supporters are jumping ship. And even some in the mainstream media are being forced to put this myth to rest. Here's the CNN article we were talking about. It says, fact check, Biden falsely claims he never opposed fracking. This is from Holmes Librand, interesting name, but a good story. I mean, I can't believe this is on CNN. First of all, I can't believe this made it past their editors. I don't know why there's such a pro-Biden network. I don't know how this happened. It's very impressive, though. I'm very much interested, and I want to see what's going on here. I want to see what they say. They're probably going to tiptoe around it, though, but let's give them a chance. Former Vice President Joe Biden claimed that he never said I oppose fracking when pressed by Donald Trump on the issue during the debate. You said it on tape, Trump replied. Facts first, it's false that Biden never said he opposed fracking. In 2 Democratic primary debates, Biden made confusing remarks over fracking that his campaign had to clarify. In 2019, Biden said, we would make sure it's eliminated when asked about the future of coal and fracking. In 2020, he said he opposed new fracking. Biden's written plan, conversely, never included a full ban on fracking or even on new fracking. Rather, it proposes banning new oil and gas permitting on public lands and waters, not ending all new fracking anywhere or ending all existing fracking in public lands and water. So the end of that bit is kind of the justification, trying to church it up a little bit. But the point is, he did say this before. You can't deny that he's had remarks about eliminating it, about no new versions of it. These are at least partially him lying. He's wrong, or he forgot what he said. I wouldn't be surprised. He's so old at this point, he could be forgetting. But I think he's just in deny mode. I think he's got his handlers and his Democratic puppeteers telling him how to handle each issue and situation. And for this one, he's just denied it and basically trying to rewrite history. That's what a lot of Democrats like to do. They have control of a lot of the word of record, these newspapers and stuff, and the internet and social media. So it's easy for them to change the truth and the facts on issues like what they're trying to do here. Biden created confusion about his stance with some of his comments during the Democratic primary. For example, he had this exchange with CNN's Dana Bash during a 2019 debate. And this is actually a clip that was just in that video, which ends with Biden said, we would work it out. That's the work it out clip. Afterwards, Biden campaign clarified that he supports eliminating subsidies for coal and gas and deploying carbon capture. Biden also said he was against new fracking in a Democratic primary debate in March when challenged by his opponent, Senator Bernie Sanders, on the issue of climate change. His campaign clarified to reporters that same evening that Biden was reiterating his plan to ban all oil and gas permits on public land, not a complete ban on new fracking, which a president cannot do. So more down the rabbit hole, more instances of him saying something that he said he didn't. CNN is forced to report on this, probably begrudgingly, probably something they wish they could ignore, but at the same time, it's almost like we have to report on this because, yeah, it was just like if they didn't say anything, they would be total hack and totally fake news, which they still are. But yeah, I think they're stuck in a corner on this one. Without an act of Congress, the president could not issue an outright ban on fracking across all the U.S. There are, however, a number of regulatory and executive actions an administration could could take to prevent or shrink the use of fracking technology, particularly on federal land. The problem is that most fracking takes place on private land, and any attempts to limit it would likely face legal challenges. So it's not really something the president can even do. That's what they're saying at the end here. It's not even something that's viable or something that a president can do at this point. It's an overreach. It shows how the Democrats are very much about extending the powers of their government. If they're in charge, of course, when they're in the presidency or something, they want to expand their powers and do more and have control of more and collect more taxes and control more things in your lives, like your healthcare and your people that are coming in, people that stay at your house. They want to control what you can do in your house, at your home, on your business, on your own land. They want to control everything, every level of society. And that's shown through this recent wave of attack ads and the campaigns and what Biden wants to do, what other Democrats are going for. Extreme socialist-like society is what they want. Things like the Green New Deal want to take over all kinds of businesses and make everything run by the government, like our energy industries and our transportation. They want to control every single aspect of your life. That's why it's a little scary, because these are not people that should be trusted. They're liars. Like, Biden totally didn't know he said this. Like, he either lied or he forgot. And either way, that's bad. That's probably worse if he forgot, but whichever, it's bad. Being either really, really bad liar or really, really forgetful is not something you want from a president. We're in an election. Biden is trying to take over this country, and he will ruin it. He will end these industries. He will tax us more. He's going to take away our rights, like possibly First or Second Amendment. The big tech is going to control more of free speech and give us less time to speak. Everything's going to go downhill if Biden wins. Admittedly, it could be fun too. He's a very, very gaffe-laden candidate. It's going to be fun to goof on him, and there's going to be lots of drama to talk about. But I doubt channels like this or places and forums and things right-leaning are going to be around much longer. I mean, they're already censoring us. They're already shadow banning us and not sharing us with their subscribers or recommendations and stuff like that. So I have a feeling that's going to get far worse in a Biden administration, or it could possibly get better if we elect Trump. That wraps things up. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure you comment your thoughts on everything below. Subscribe if you're new. Hit the bell for notifications too. Until next time, have a great day.